This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good Erev Shabbos, Rabbi. So we're continuing in our Shiurim on Parshas Naso. I want to take the opportunity if anybody wants to participate in upcoming publications. We have a few books in the queue right now. Firstly, we're working on in English, Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes for Art Scroll for the upcoming Chanukah B'Siyata D'Shmaya. Also a sefer on Chinuch Habanim. If anybody wants to participate, as well as something in English on Lag BaOmer. Okay, here are some imponderables on Parshas Naso. I don't have good answers to these questions, but I do think they're good questions. Number one, in Parshas Naso, we know Levi had 3 children: Gershon, Kahas, and Merari. Kahas is counted in Parshas Bamidbar. Naso begins Nasa Yisra'ish B'nei Gershon. So why are the B'nei Levi split up? Why is Kahas back in Bamidbar and Gershon is in Naso? Furthermore, why by Kahas does it say Gam Heim? Also count them. And later on, in Pasuk Chavtes, by the B'nai Mari, it just says count them, but it doesn't say Gam. Why does only Kahas get a Gam, and Merari doesn't get a Gam? You know, Gam is a nice word. By B'nai Merari, said Tifkod some Gam Kain. Also, why by each family does it have to say they're counted from 30 to 50? We already know the B'nai Kahas, the Levim are counted always from 30 to 50. Why does it need to spell out by each family of Levi, by both Kahas, Gershon, and Merari, that the count is from 30 to 50? Then I have a number of, in terms of the order of the subjects in the Chumash. So it talks about counting the Levium, and right after counting the Levium, so it talks about the Parsha of sending out from the Machaneh anyone who's a Mitzayra or a Zav. I mean, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Why are we talking about sending out of the Machaneh? Why, after the subject of the count of the Levium, does it say to send out from the Machaneh Kol Sarua V'Chol Zav? Something just occurred to me. There are 3 Machanais. Within the Klaim is Machaneh Shechina. Around that is Machaneh Leviah. Around that is Machaneh Yisrael. A Tsarua is sent out of all of them. A Zav is sent out of 2 of them. So perhaps now that we've established who the Levium are, now that we've counted the Levium and we've positioned them, so now's the first time we could really say, okay, a Zav is sent out from the Machaneh Leviah. The Levium that we've been just discussing, if someone is a Zav, they're sent out from the camp of the Leviah, perhaps. Okay. Next subject matter that's discussed is if a ger steals, who does he pay to? You know, what's that doing there? Even though, by the way, Rashi does say in Parakeh Pasuk Beis that the Parsha of Shiluach Tameim was said on the day the Mishkan was erected. So maybe that's what it's doing in juxtaposition of Vayhi b'yom kalos Moshel hakim es hamishkan. But why is it connected to the count of the Levium? Okay. Then we talk about Gezel Hager. What's that doing here? Next question is out of this world. Parakeh Pasuk Chaf Aleph. So Rashi says that on the Pasuk, B'seis Hashem es yireichech noifeles v'esbitnech tzava. Her thigh will cave in. Her stomach will explode. Rashi says by the curse, it first mentions the thigh and then the stomach. What happened here? Rashi says by the curse, it first says the thigh and then the stomach, because the thigh did the avera first. Later on, Rashi says that when the stomach blows up and the thigh caves in, Rashi's bothered, even though by the klala it mentions the thigh first, the way the water checks, it checks how she drinks it. And she drinks it, v'tzav sabitna v'nafla yirecha. So I have one simple question. Why did Rashi wait till Pasuk Chav Zayin to comment that the water check in the way she ingests the water? It already said the same exact thing in Pasuk Chav Beis, Latzbois baten v'lan pil yarech. There, Rashi should have said, even though by the klala it says asirechech nefeles vesbitnech tzava, but it checks derech kenisasa. Why did Rashi say it right away? Here's another question. This is really bothering me. So it says, you give the woman to drink, she explodes, and the man is innocent. Question. Why do I need to say the man is innocent? What did the man do? She was unfaithful. He brought her to Beis Din. Says Rashi, if the water checks her, he shouldn't worry and say, I'm responsible for her death. No, he's innocent. Of course he's innocent. Why would I think he's guilty? He didn't kill her. God killed her. God killed her with the sota waters, which are almost as deadly as soda itself. Right? Why does the pasuk have to say that the husband's innocent? Why would I think the husband is guilty? Unless you say maybe the husband's going to think to himself, why was my wife unfaithful to me? Oh, I must have been a bad husband. I didn't treat her right. So he's going to start having guilt pangs. You know, I know it's her fault. She was unfaithful. But if I would have been a good husband, she would have been faithful to me. So maybe somehow I'm guilty for her death. So it says, no, he's off the hook. But by the way, he's off the hook means that we're not going to hold him liable. But really, he is guilty. In other words, if you need to tell somebody, okay, we're not going to punish you, that means, there's some guilt over here. Anytime you need to say, don't worry, don't feel guilty, it's because there's guilt. So in other words, in a certain sense, the Torah is insinuating that, he could have prevented the situation. Just think about it. Why is the Torah saying the man is innocent of something he didn't do? Okay. Next. Parak Vav Pasuk Yud Gimel. It says Yavi Oisai. He brings himself. Parak Vav Pasuk Yud Gimel. Pasuk Parak Vav Pasuk Yud Zois Teiras HaNazir. Yavi Oisai. Rashi says it means Yavi is Atzmai. He brings himself. It's interesting. So why didn't it just say Yavi is Atzmai? What's Yavi Oisai? What's the Torah trying to say by he brings himself? You don't bring yourself somewhere. You come. Right? If I say, everyone, bring yourself to my house. I say, come to my house. Why does the Torah use such an expression, bring yourself? Very unusual. As if he's like, he doesn't want to go. If you have to say bring yourself, it sounds like there's some kind of there's a hesitation over here. It's against your will. You don't really want to go. Another question. Anybody have any idea? It should say, what does the Parsha of Nazir have to do with Birchas Kayanim? Why does it talk about Nazir by Birchas Kayanim? I don't remember Rashi saying this, but maybe the Gemara says, because just like a Nazir can't drink wine, a Kayin who's doing the Avodah can't drink wine. Okay, but that's like a drush. Is there any simple meaning? What's the connection between, we have a Parsha about a Nazir, and then Birchas Kayanim? By the way, Rashi says, on B'yom Kalois Moshe Hakim Es HaMishkan, Rashi says, by the way, it was Rosh Chodesh Nisan. On the second day they burnt the paraduma. On the third day they sprinkled it. On the seventh day they shaved. Who asked Rashi to tell me the chronology of what happened afterwards? Rashi is not a medrash. Rashi is here to tell me Pashup Pshat in the Psukim. The Psukim don't say anything happened after. Why is Rashi offering this extra information? There's a reason why Medrash Rabbah is 7 times the size of Rashi. Because Rashi is a Mefaresh of Pshuto Shel Mikra. So why would Rashi throw in, by the way, it's Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and B'Sheni Nisrafa Hapara, B'Shlishi Hizu Hazaya, U'V'Shvi Gilcha. Okay. Last one. You'll tell me what you think. Ruvain was the first shevet to be mechanech the mizbeach. Yehuda was the first shevet to be mechanech the mizbeach. After Yehuda came Yisachar. All of a sudden, Ruvain he says, look, it's one thing for Yehuda to go ahead of me, but Yisachar to go ahead of me. So Moshe says, relax. God told this to me. God told me it's in the order of the way you travel. Then Rashi says, what's the reason why Yisachar came before other tribes? Rashi says either because the Bnei Yisachar were Yoideim Es HaTorah, they knew the Torah, and number 2, Yisachar was the one who advised the Nesiim to be makriv the karbanos. So a few questions here. Question number 1 is, if Yisachar was one who advised them, and he's Yoidim Es HaTorah, then why didn't he go first? So I guess, whatever svara there is that he should go ahead of everyone, but not ahead of Yehuda. Yehuda's going first no matter what. Now the question is, what about everyone else? So then all of a sudden we bring in the svaras of Yisachar or Talmidei Chachamim, or because they were the one who advised everyone. But it's interesting. I mean, if that's a good svar, you should go first. If it's not a good svar, you shouldn't go. And number 2, I don't understand something. Ruvain asked Moshe, I understand why Yehuda could go first, but why I should at least go second. So Moshe said, no, God told me. Why didn't Moshe Rabbeinu say the reasons that Rashi gives why Yisachar went next? Moshe should have said, because you can't go. Yisachar goes, he's a Talmid Chacham. Yisachar goes, he gave the advice. Why didn't only Rashi could give us the reason, but Moshe can't tell Ruvain? Moshe tells Ruvain, no, God said. And Rashi says, why did Yisachar go next? He's a Talmid Chacham, he gave the advice. So why didn't Moshe give that reason to Ruvain? So from here you see also a very good thing, a very important insight, I think. Let's say somebody wants you to do something, and you really can't do it, or you really don't want to do it. Never give a reason why you can't do it. You know why? Because he's going to tell you why that's not a good reason. I can't come because of A. Oh, really? A? I'll get a replacement for A. I can't come because of B. B? Oh no, but I could take care of B. If you don't plan on doing it, just say, I'm sorry, I can't. It's not gonna work. It's not a good idea to give a reason. So Moshe tells Ruvain, God told me, that's it. Well, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to start saying, Yisachar is a Talmid Chacham. Reuben's going to say, really? But he doesn't know this and I know that. No. When something has to get done, just say yes or no. If you want to know, now Rashi takes a step back. If you, by the way, so you want to know why, this is the reason. Okay. Some questions to think about on Parshas Naso. Okay, I want to share with you some ideas on Tefillah.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah. You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.